place to stay. He just kind of laid down. You never knew quite where he was going to rest, but he would. He had good attendance to the council.
All right.
He finally got smart about it. Put a ball some goodies for him.
What?
Some goodies.
Hey, Sandra, is
Snacks
Ted
in the back of the
No, that's what I thought. I just wanted to make sure, but it wasn't.
Yeah.
All right, just wanted to make sure.
He was hilarious. Yeah.
All right, good evening. If you would like to have your 3 minutes to speak tonight, there's a sheet open on this table, and if you could sign in, that would be wonderful. And we usually start our meeting with the invocation, and Councilman Watson will be doing our invocation tonight. So we'll start with
Father God, we thank you for this fabulous community in which we live. We thank you for the privilege of serving it. We ask that you be present in our deliberations and discussion this evening. You would guide our heads and our hearts, that you would help us to serve this community well. We thank you for all of the people who serve, staff, police department. We just ask that you would bless them all richly for their service to this community. And we pray all of these things in the precious name of your Son, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. All right, we'll call this meeting to order at 6:30 p.m. and we'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. On the Texas flag, I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, indivisible.
Play ball. All right, all right, good evening. We do have quorum tonight. Councilman Hawkins will not be attending. Okay, so we're going to start with our reports and presentations. We'll start with 2A, recognition of Officer Aaron Benoit for 5 years of service to the city of Bulverde. The city of Bulverde proudly recognizes Officer Aaron Benoit for 5 years of distinguished service, dedication, and loyalty to the Bulverde Police Department. Presented with gratitude by the City Council of Bulverde today, August 11, 2026.
Woo!
Come on, Police Department.
Come on, guys.
Come on, Council. It's a trap.
Okay.
I'm gonna take a couple and I'll let. Okay, 1, 2. Sorry. All right,
Yes.
All right, and we'll start 2B, the Police Department, summary of July 2026 activities.
Mayor, Council. I have to tell you that I've known Aaron since he was a little baby. Him and our middle child are the same age. I was probably one of the first people to ever see him when he came home from the hospital, so I've known him for a long, long time. You have before you the July 26th monthly count. I'm sorry, the July 26th monthly report. We responded to 1,291 calls for service. had a total of 17 arrests, 22 crashes that we actually investigated and submitted a crash report to the state of Texas. Average speed citation over the limit on Highway 21, 19.2 miles over the limit. On Highway 46, 18.3. No speeding citations for the month of July on FM 1863. Probably not due to a lack of speeders, but just nobody got caught. And everywhere else in the city, 19.6 miles an hour over the speed limit. I'd be glad to answer any questions if you have any questions about significant events or anything else that you'd like to ask.
Let's start down here, Councilman Watson.
None for me.
Councilman Krawietz.
It's good, Chief.
Thank you.
Councilman Brown.
No questions here.
Councilman Alexander.
No questions,
And
Chief.
Councilman Doyle.
Glad you're back. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank
Chief, I
you.
just have one question. The tractor trailer ridge, 1863-281. Have you all issued citations at that location for the illegal parking?
So the way the law is written is a 48-hour sticker. We don't issue a citation for it. We put a sticker on it. If they don't move it within 48 hours, we tow it.
Okay, what's the experience been so far?
I don't think we've towed anything yet, have we, that I'm aware of? No.
But you've
did-
issued stickers. You put stickers.
I did go by there this weekend and I seen 2 tractor trailers sitting there with a big red sticker on the back window. So I know they're doing it. So I'm hoping that the folks that are getting those are realizing, okay, we need to not park here.
The watermelon people, the watermelon people were there today with
Yeah, I saw
3
that.
tents.
Jason, that's in like the voice experience. I'm sorry. Council member was
Real pain to get off.
Yeah.
And that's why we said, hey, hopefully it's enough of a pain to get those off, to get the point without having to call a tow truck out there.
Chief, thank you for that information.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, finance, Sharon?
Evening, Mayor and Council. This, for the month of June, we had revenues of $558,413, which is right at about 77.86% of our annual budget, with a total of $8,213,459. For expenditures, we had an average month of $733,974. 64.98% of our annual budget for dollar amount of $6,721,279. Right, $6,721,279. General fund, everything is pretty much as expected. No anomalies. The general fund capital, we've made 2 installments on our road program, totaling to $613,612. So we should have I think 1 more payment left that we have left for the road projects. We've got 1 big payment left for that. For sales tax, for the fiscal year 26 year-to-date collections, we are below the budget by $7,616 or 0.28%. For June, February 26 sales tax revenue is above June of last year by $31,910 or 10.74%. The fiscal year 26 collections are below the fiscal year 25 by $59,369 or 2.13%. If I take out the audit revenue of $134,000, fiscal year collections are above fiscal year 25 by $74,631 or 2.82%. And last but not least, interest income for the month of July was $35,888. Any questions?
So we're running under budget again this year.
But we still have payments left to make out of the capital fund.
Sharon, so Canal Appraisal District's gonna have a reappraisal plan hearing on August 26th. Do we know how that's gonna affect any of our budget items for this year yet?
We're going to have a what?
A Canal Appraisal District reappraisal plan hearing.
I don't know anything about that. I can check into it.
Thank you. Moving on. Nobody has any questions? Questions? Okay, Public Works.
Good afternoon, Mayor and Council. I'll give you a brief report on July's Public Works report. Staff continued routine street and drainage maintenance. We're getting close to closing out our 2026 road maintenance plan. We do have some streets in Edgebrook that we need to complete, and including some striping on some of the other roads. So, after that, staff, engineer, and contractor will go out and do a walkthrough just to button up anything that needs to be taken care of. So that is my report. If anybody has any questions, please.
Questions on this end?
I do.
Yes.
Yeah, so I did nitpick you in that email, Mike, you're aware, I copied them on. So it was identified that the flow rate on the truck was not adjusted correctly, or?
Correct. Yes, the initial flow rate was at a 0.06 square gallons per square yards. So we readjusted it and added, we're at a 0.10 rate, flow rate on it.
Okay, so 0.4 off, that's conservative, so.
Yeah.
Are they gonna go back, seriously rework on those areas that are deficient?
Yeah, we're gonna, actually, some of the work on that work, once they complete all the ones they haven't finished, I think tomorrow and Wednesday, they'll be doing the touch-ups on those roads that are streets.
I'm
Alright,
sorry, what is this in regards to?
The edge rejuvenation.
Okay,
Yeah, the initial rate that the contractor used was a 0.06. So what it did, it wasn't sufficient enough material to put on the ground. So what it did, it left streaks on the road. So when you do that type of work, you don't go back right away and respray it because it's still so fresh. So they readjusted the rate, are completing the roads that need to be complete. Then they'll come back and readjust the rate back to the ones that just haven't finished.
So I'm getting,
Wait, let him finish.
no, I'm getting a lot of feedback from neighbors about the overspray on the curbs. And I looked at a few, and a few of them were a little nitpicky. There's a little bit of overspray. There's a few spots that it appeared that the gentleman that was walking around,
Yeah,
he might have done one of these
Yeah.
numbers. Are they going to go back and correct that as well?
yeah, we'll go back and correct that as well. And we do have LC, the owner of the company here, is aware of all of this. We will correct that.
Very good. If you want to forward me his email, that way I can front load everyone. They're pouring into my email. So then I can just basically forward it to his. That way he knows who's addressed, walk in and what needs to be done.
Absolutely.
And then you guys,
We'll take care of it.
all right, very good, thank you.
Okay, Councilman Watson. Thank you, Councilman Kravitz, your turn.
So it was just the Fox Hill and Edgebrook, which the sheen was, the flow rate was on.
Yeah, the flow rate was off. Not that it was off, it's just that we started off at a lower rate.
I got you.
So,
Okay, yeah, you can go in later.
Yeah.
You spray it? Yeah.
Yep.
No, I was on the fence about the Fox Hill, like over the hills and stuff, you know, if it was worth the money on top of the chip seal. I've got lots of positive feedback about how nice the roads look, so, thank you.
When are they gonna paint?
the striping will start next week.
Next week, okay. So that everybody's aware, because I know they have to close the roads there.
I'm
Okay.
sorry.
Did you have a question?
Did we get the striping on Casey Road resolved, or is that?
Yeah,
that's what it was.
actually, the striping on Casey Road, I brought in a few other contractors, our engineer on staff as well. I'm not on staff, but the city's engineer. We went out and looked at it. We met with the contractor, looked at it. What initially happened, the subcontractor they used missed the center line by about 4 to 5 inches. So therefore it shifted everything to the side. Now, the two options that we had was, one is to go out and remove all the striping, the yellow striping, the edge striping, which would create ghost lines, and it would just kind of, everybody has concurred that the stripe will be fine. LC and his company have actually refunded us the money for that striping. So, and offered us a 1-year warranty on the stripe itself. So we accepted that, and we moved on, and we'll make sure if we do stripe again that doesn't happen.
Yeah, there's nothing you can do
Seems
about it
reasonable.
now, so that's very generous.
Thank you.
Yeah, we
Refund
thank
us on the stripe. And the striping guy, he's separate, he just goes out there and walks it on his own.
Yeah.
So, honest mistake.
Yeah.
But
Where are we on the culverts?
The culvert project, they should be, I think as of today, they may have 1 or 2 left on that. They'll be regrading some of them, probably starting Thursday, Friday. Should be complete with those by next week. So they should be complete with the culverts and the streets by, we're looking at what, by end of next week.
I noticed that, we've got rock emplacements in that, particular spot I noted last time. I believe it's, Casey and Stallion,
Yes. Yes.
looks pretty good.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much. Your job looks really good.
Thank
We
you.
had some bumps in the road, but it's doing
Yeah.
pretty good. I mean, we figured them out. I'm not getting the complaints that we were at the beginning. I don't think any of us are. Maybe
No,
maybe just Councilman Goff, because it's back in his neighborhood now. I think as it moved through neighborhoods, everybody had some kind of comment.
Yeah, and what we're gonna do after we meet and look at it, we'll sit down and do a debrief on the entire project itself. Kind of see what we've missed, what we can do better on, what we can improve, and just make the project much easier and better for next year. Communication, with communities, we tried as much as we can with communities, but we could probably do a better job of communicating a little bit more.
It's road work, everybody's.
Yes, it's, yeah, we
Nobody
have,
likes
we take it and we move on.
Thank you,
Hey,
Erin.
Aaron, I have one more question for you. What has been your feedback for 46?
We do have a meeting tomorrow with TxDOT. We
Correct.
do have some areas that need to be brought to their attention. Mainly some pavement markings on some of the streets on the side, like Singing Hills, on Wolverine Crossing. There's missing pavement markings. Some of them on our side, but it directs traffic into a turn lane. Turn lane on Singing Hills coming out of Singing Hills. There's no, right turn, left turn. I think today, Mr. Castro, you had one on what was the street? Riverway. So there's a.
That's the one about the light?
Yes.
Yes, yeah. And then also some of the overgrown vegetation on the right of way, that area. We just need to know whose responsibility that is, if it's ours or theirs.
Aaron, one more
Right.
thing. Is there anything in the works about that safety in there at Casey Road and Wolverine Road? At the end of Casey that I brought up before.
Oh, the
The really call
the
safety.
entry, yeah, we're actually doing that one too. That one is on there.
Okay.
actually,
Y'all just
I
gonna
think
saw it off, or are you gonna release the whole thing?
They're gonna take that whole thing out. Yeah.
That was dangerous.
Yeah, we are. That one is in the process. I think Thursday or Friday they'll be doing that.
Okay, great.
Thank you, Aaron.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Right, we're gonna move to number 3, consent agenda items. These are all considered to be routine by the city council. There will be no separate discussion on these items, will be enacted in one motion. So 3A, consider approval of the city council meeting minutes for the following meeting dates. Regular city council meeting on July 14th, 2026. Regular city council meeting on July 28th, 2026. The city council budget workshop on July 30th, 2026. And we will also consider the approval of a resolution city text. We can't do those together. Can we do all of those together? Okay, so then I can add the 3B to this also, which will consider approval of a resolution of the city of Bulverde, Texas, adopting an investment policy. Okay, so these are just straight for a motion and a second and a vote. So do I have a motion?
I move to approve the consent agenda items 3A and 3B as presented.
Okay, do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, consent? Okay, I would like to make a motion, or I gotta make a motion for this, right, to move, 7A, we would like to move, executive session item 7A, 7B, and 7C to now.
So we're gonna go into executive now.
We go twice today.
Twice.
Yeah, we'll do 7A, 7B, 7C.
Second.
7A, 7B, and 7C to right now.
Second.
Okay, so there's a motion and a second. I have a related inquiry for staff. In two parts. Section 2.14 of the charter authorizes the city council to determine its own rules and order of business. Has the city council adopted by vote a process for conducting the annual reviews of the city manager, the city attorney, and the municipal judge?
To the best of my knowledge, no.
How was that done before, Sandra, last year?
A very similar, well, previously, the city attorney and municipal court judge were not listed on the executive session, it was purely. And it was a similar form, Mr. Alexander was here last year, it was a similar format to the evaluation.
The second part of my inquiry is section 5 of the city manager's employment agreement requires that the council and the manager define goals and performance objectives reduced to writing as a tool in the performance evaluation, initially within 3 months and annually thereafter. Have those written goals been established for this review period?
No, ma'am.
That being the case, I propose that an item be placed on the agenda for September 8th, 2026 regular meeting to establish the process for conducting the annual reviews of the city manager, the city attorney, and the municipal judge, the performance criteria against which each will be evaluated, and the form in which the council's evaluation of each is reported and delivered.
We are gonna be.
So how does this work? So you made a motion, you seconded it. And
You
then
still
this
have
is-
discussion.
This is an inquiry. This is an inquiry to staff.
There hasn't been a presentation.
Yes, she can.
Yeah, so we're
discuss.
talking now. Okay,
She can make a discussion afterwards.
okay, so we're all discussing. Yeah, I believe you're 100% right, Francesca. Like, looking at this, and I raised the question early, hey, we don't even have a form to do this. And then you came back and you have.
Yeah, Sandra had said, right, which is the one y'all used last year.
Right, and we don't have a process to do this. We haven't discussed and decided how we're gonna objectively evaluate our city manager. So before rushing in to go do the thing, why don't we get our process in line and then we can come back and do it. We're already past the deadline. This contract's already reached.
Well, I don't like this city manager evaluation form. I have a problem with how it's written.
Well, okay,
So
so
I think,
hold up. Are we out of,
so this is a point of order.
I know, wait, I gotta ask the attorney something. So what part of this do we move this to executive session, 7A, 7B, 7C now to discuss that? Or do we continue that discussion?
There's a motion on the floor.
It's not a motion, it's a proposal. And actually, under government code, we're not allowed to deliberate it. We can vote it up or down. I have a motion to make with respect to the items themselves, but the proposal is to put an item on a future agenda.
That's the current motion that's on the floor.
It's not a motion, it's a
I have a
proposal.
motion.
The motion
She has a
is
motion.
I had a motion that we move this item to executive session now, 7A, 7B, and 7C, right? The whole discussion part.
If y'all want to take this into executive to receive legal advice on those matters, yes. you can do that.
Yes,
That's
that
what
is
you
what
want.
we, yeah.
Why?
So that we can figure out where we're gonna fit on the agenda for September.
I don't know, why does that have to be
We
an
have
executive
some
session?
discussion items that we have to
That's
talk
already
about.
been exposed.
We have,
That's,
To talk about the evaluation
yes.
process.
that's not the proposal.
If you guys wanna talk about it, yeah, that's fine. I just don't see why it'd be appropriate to bring that back to executive unless we're actually evaluating.
That's why I'm trying to move it ahead now to get it out of our way.
Yeah, but,
Yeah.
okay, so we're gonna do it
Yes.
after.
No, we're gonna do it in there. Okay.
That's why I'm like, why are we going executive? We can go back there and talk about it, that's
Currently,
fine.
the only thing that's being discussed is the proposal is to move it to a future date.
But we also
The
can't take
proposal
any
is to
action.
put-
So if we
I'm
go in
sorry.
there, we can't do anything there, but just bring it back out here.
The proposal is to put an item on the September 8th agenda to establish the process and evaluation criteria. That's the proposal.
Yes.
It is not to do, I will make a separate motion when these items come up, but
Okay, so
that's a separate issue.
we have a
So-
second and we have a motion, so
The
motion
motion-
to vote on
The motion on the floor is to move 7A, 7B,
B,
7C.
7C to now,
So
right?
if
So that we
it's
can go in
y'all's
executive
desire
session to go and do that.
that. So I'll.
to change the process, we have to put this to vote, and
Let's
then
vote.
Francesca will make another motion when this comes up later in the
Yes, when it comes back in the agenda.
So,
Correct.
Put it to vote.
Okay, so all of those to go in executive session now, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
So 4. Are you,
That's
yes?
what I just said? Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Point of order, I think the proposal has to be ruled on before the motion.
You don't want to do what Francesca said. This motion would have to fail, and then she would have to make a motion later in the agenda.
I know, but it just didn't fail.
Okay.
So it just passed. So let's do this in executive
Let's go-
session.
Let's be messy behind.
It's not being messy. And, can we do that? No, we just voted for the motion to go to executive session.
And hers, I guess, would fail for
No,
lack of
it does, hers does not fail. She's
doesn't
gonna
mean
bring it back in that hour. Yes,
You guys have been taking up.
correct. And it'll come back when we come
So
back.
now we
Is
go
it
to
super-
She,
executive.
hers is not.
I'm sorry, point of order, point of order. Matt,
Yes, ma'am.
I believe that the proposal has to be addressed before the motion can be voted on.
You have a motion first.
The original motion on the floor was for what?
To go into executive session to discuss 7A, 7B, and 7C, which we all just voted on.
That was the original proposal.
Yes.
Of course, that was the motion. that passed.
Yes.
So she had a separate motion after the fact.
It's
She
not
has
a
a
motion.
proposal. Which we would do when we come out of executive session so that she can get them.
Okay, so
Right.
what are we wanting to go into executive session? Legal advice.
Because council needs to have some discussions regarding these items. Okay.
Have you convened executive session?
No, you're down.
The procedural.
Yes, I'm gonna do the thing right now. All right, 6:56 PM, we're going into executive session.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
All right, call our meeting back to order at 7:31 PM.
Madam Mayor, I would like to make a motion to, with apologies to the judge, to schedule a workshop for city council on Wednesday, August 19th, for the purposes of establishing a process and procedure for the annual evaluations of the city attorney, municipal judge, and the city manager. And in addition, to move those evaluations to the first city council meeting scheduled in September on September 8th.
And I will second that.
Get away from you.
Oh,
Oh, I have to say all of that again.
well,
Sorry.
All right. Jeopardy music.
all right.
Again,
Again.
with apologies to the judge, I move that we establish a workshop on Wednesday, August 19th, for the purposes of allowing council to establish a procedure and process for the annual evaluations of the city attorney, the municipal judge, and the city manager. And further, that we postpone those evaluations scheduled for tonight to next month's first regularly scheduled meeting on September 8th.
And I second that. Okay. Please. All in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous. All right, all right.
Make that look where I have to see. Right, conflict.
Now,
He doesn't need to be
You don't have to be bottom.
September 8th will be the evaluation.
Yeah, but you
That's a
still
good
can
question.
present,
We
you
can
still
still
can
present.
present to him. Yes, you,
Okay, yes.
okay. All right,
Well, I need to be here,
If you're not available, let the city secretary know. And
we'll present.
otherwise,
Reschedule.
they won't.
Yes.
Okay, that's really.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
And apologies again.
Okay. All right, moving to our regular agenda items, 4A. Discuss and consider possible action to designate alternate dates for the second regular city council meetings in November and December. So what dates are we looking at for, Mike, what dates did you have open?
Yes. Let me pull that up. So I provided 3 options for council. First being consolidate those to one meeting, second to cancel the second meeting, or I guess that's the same option entirely. And then let me open up the agenda packet for you, sorry. The Thursday, November 19th, and Thursday, December 17th for the second meeting.
Hey, are y'all opposed to not only having one meeting in November and December?
I'm not opposed to it.
I'm not opposed.
Okay.
It's all.
My,
Yes, it will consolidate.
Yeah.
The planning item will be presented at that first
y'all
meeting.
do realize it'll be a long meeting, but we'll only do one meeting instead of 2?
That's one of that.
All right, so I'll make a motion that we do one meeting in November and one meeting in December, canceling the second meeting on November 24th, which is the week of Thanksgiving, and the second meeting, which would be on December 22nd, for the Christmas week.
I'll second.
And thank you. All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Or B, discussion and possible action regarding a signage and traffic study conducted by Priest and Nichols, including a presentation of findings, traffic conditions, identified concerns, and recommended approval.
Mayor, council, this item, this agenda item, just to, make a statement. We collected this information from, citizens, from staff, from, HOAs, from council, from, different variety of folks that compiled this list. But if you do have an area in mind that you would like us to take a look at, I know we received a couple already. I think Old Bernie Road, there's a curb there that we'll start another list. If you do have an issue, some areas, please forward that to me. We can start compiling a different list and, work on that, that study itself. But this afternoon,
Sorry, this week.
this evening, we have members from engineers from Friesen Nichols who will be doing the presentation. We have Holly and Heather who will be her presenting on the study. And if you have any questions, we'll be glad to.
Good evening, Council. My name is Holly Urbano, and I'm with Friesen Nichols. And today I'll be talking about the Siren Safety Study recommendations and findings. The purpose of the study was to identify some safety concerns at specific intersections and roadways in the city of Bulverde, to provide recommended solutions based on observed issues and any issues brought to our attention prior to the study. As Aaron has stated, the following locations were chosen based on feedback from the city staff, and HOAs. You can see the map depicts all of the locations, but for the sign study, the intersections included in the study are Harmerling Road and US 281, Shepherd's Ranch and Brand Road, Casey Road and Wanaka View, Barton Hill Drive and Casey Road, and Marble and Premier. For the speed study, we chose Marble from Job to Premier, Wooton from Wiley Road to Versace, Wiley Road from FM 1863 to Job, and Brand Road from Highway 46 to Earl Oak Avenue, as roadways for this study. We collected speed and traffic data as well as performed site visits earlier this May. We made sure to perform these data collection and observations during the school year to try to get the most accurate data collection and traffic volumes possible. And based on this data and observed issues, we have put together some recommendations for you all. You'll see on the slides following this that I put on the slide requires updates to Code of Ordinances. We've listed the specific sections of the code, and we acknowledge that updates to the Code of Ordinances will require council approval. We're going to start with our intersection analysis, starting with Heimerling Road and US 281. So this intersection currently has stop control at Heimerling Road and is partially, obviously US 281 is under TxDOT jurisdiction. The primary concern for this intersection is the lack of a vertical barrier along the culvert. There's approximately around 8 feet of elevation difference from the surface of the roadway to the bottom of the culvert, and there's currently not really a barrier. There's just some flexible delineators on the shoulder. There's only been one crash at this intersection within the last 3 years. And while US 281 is part of TxDOT jurisdiction, we did perform a turn lane analysis for turning volumes going southbound on US 281. And we found that a turn lane was not warranted based on traffic volumes. Our recommendations for this intersection is to install a vertical barrier with reflectors along the edge of the culvert to provide some kind of protection to drivers as well as a visual warning. We also recommend to widen the pavement by 3 feet so that the lane closest to the culvert has a little bit more wiggle room so people aren't hugging the center lane to make that turn. The preliminary cost estimate includes a range of different kinds of vertical barrier treatments ranging from $21,000 to $36,900. And this will likely require TxDOT approval and coordination. The second intersection we're going to be talking about is Shepherd's Ranch and Brand Road. This intersection currently is stop controlled on Shepherd's Ranch. The primary concern was safety and signage. No crashes were recorded within the last 3 years, and based on traffic volumes, an all-way stop control warrant was not met. Our recommendations for this intersection are primarily sighting and pavement markings. This includes a stop bar, on Shepherd's Ranch Road, as well as some additional speed limit signs on both sides of Brand Road, or along both directions of Brand Road, north and south of the intersection, as well as refreshing the centerline pavement markings at all approaches. This costs about $3,900. Our next intersection is Casey Road and Monica View. This intersection currently has stop control at the Monica View approach, where the primary concern is speeding. There have been no crashes recorded at this intersection within the last 3 years, and traffic volumes did not indicate that always stop control warrants were met. It should be noted that this intersection is at the limit, is at city limits. So half of this intersection is within city jurisdiction, half of it's within county. Excuse me. For this intersection, we're providing recommendations specifically within city limits. So this includes an additional speed limit sign while maintaining stop control at Monica View. You can see on the slide, we've recommended outside or pavement markings on the outside of each lane across Casey Road, but I believe this has already been implemented. So in the preliminary cost estimate of $1,300, this does not include pavement marking improvements. This is just based on signage. The next intersection is Barton Hill Drive and Casey Road. This intersection is currently yoke patrolled at Barton Hill Drive for free flow of traffic along Casey Road. The primary concern for this intersection is sight distance. So due to the existing terrain, because it's pretty hilly in that area, as well as being located on a curve along Casey Road, it can be difficult for drivers as they're approaching the intersection to see if people are making turns in and out of the intersection at that time. One crash was recorded at that intersection within the last 3 years. And for our recommendations, we did make sure that whatever we recommended would not have a negative impact on the traffic at this intersection. Our recommendation for this intersection is to upgrade the existing yield sign at Barton Hill Drive to a stop sign, as well as recommending some additional speed limit signs and advanced warning signs along Casey Road. It should be noted that Casey Road at this intersection is outside of city limits and would require county approval. The cost estimate for all of the improvements at this intersection, including those in county limits or outside of city limits, is $4,600.
I have a question there. So is that stop sign in the city limits or is it a stop sign in the county?
I believe that stop sign is within city limits.
It's a yield sign right now.
Yes, the existing yield sign is within city limits. In the city code of ordinances, that's listed on the slide. The city code of ordinances does define this intersection to be yield controlled within the code of ordinances. The code of ordinances has specified which intersection can be yield or stop control.
Correct.
This is part of that code of ordinances currently as it stands.
It just looks like the way it's drawn, that stop sign would be in the county, not in the, or the yield sign would be in the county, not the city. Okay.
Yeah, it's in the city.
I'm
On to the
sorry,
last.
can you go back one?
Yes.
So the preliminary cost, I see. Okay, never mind. Thank you.
Right. Our last intersection is the intersection of Marble and Premier. This intersection is a little bit unique as it's an L-shaped intersection with no stop control, but the primary concern for this intersection is sight distance. So the existing fence line and vehicles parked on the street create visual obstructions, so it can be difficult for drivers approaching the intersection to see if there's anyone across the intersection. So whether or not they have to make a tighter turn or someone's crossing the road or things like that. So our recommendation for this intersection is to create a no parking zone specifically within, I think, 135 feet within the intersection. This would be marked by a no parking sign as well as optionally red curb paint. It should be noted that this will require council approval and enforcement for the no parking zone will have to be coordinated between the HOA, council, and police department. The preliminary cost estimate, depending on whether both signage and curb paint is implemented, is between $1,100 and $2,500. That concludes the intersection analysis. Moving forward onto the roadway analysis. We're going to be starting with Grand Road from Highway 46 to Earl Oak Avenue, my apologies. The posted speed limit along Grand Road is 30 miles per hour. However, whenever in the data collection, we observed a significant amount of people to be speeding along Grand Road, specifically between Shepherd's Ranch and Highway 46. This is largely due to, I think, Highway 46 has a higher speed limit. So as people turn off of Highway 46 onto Grand Road, they're not slowing down to the appropriate speed limit. The recommendations for Grand Road have been split between two sections. So this section will be from Highway 46 to Shepherd's Ranch. We recommend refreshing the centerline pavement markings, as well as some additional speed limit signs and winding road signs. The cost estimate for this segment of Grand Road is $24,100. This is the second segment of Grand Road from Shepherd's Ranch to Earl Oak Avenue. Similarly, we were recommending refreshing the centerline pavement markings. And the speed limit signs shown in this figure have been accounted for in the previous recommendation for Grand Road and Shepherd's Ranch. The preliminary cost estimate for these improvements is $33,500. Our next roadways are going to be Marvel and Buton. These roadways are in the Edgebrook subdivision, I believe. There's currently no posted speed limit sign anywhere in this neighborhood. We did observe off-street parking throughout the entire neighborhood with no restrictions. There's only been one crash recorded in this neighborhood along Buton in the last 3 years. And we observed majority of drivers are going 25 miles per hour or less. Based on the data we collected, we are recommending posting 25 mile per hour speed limit signs throughout the neighborhood. We also observed the neighborhood pool and playground. We're recommending the raised crosswalk across Versace to the neighborhood pool and playground. The raised crosswalk provides increased visibility for those crossing the road, primarily children, and it can also serve as traffic calming to prevent people from speeding down Versace Road at that corner. Preliminary cost estimate for specifically Marvel is $3,800, and the cost for Buton, including the raised crosswalk, is $29,000.
It's an insightful recommendation. That radius there,
It's
will come
really
around,
sharp, yeah.
and it's highly trafficked by little kids. So glad that you identified that.
Thank you. Lastly, we're going to be talking about Wiley Road connecting FM 1863 to Joe. Wiley Road is a little bit unique. The speed limit along Wiley Road is variable, so it's 40 miles per hour north of Joe, I believe 30 miles per hour south of Joe. There's also a school zone due to Boulevardy Middle School. In our data collection, we did notice a very significant amount of people have been speeding or observed to speed along Wiley Road, both in and out of active school zone hours. Majority of these people speeding are coming off of or traveling southbound along Wiley Road due to the higher speed limit along FM 1863, which I believe has a speed limit of 40 or 55 miles per hour, depending on which direction of FM 1863 you're coming from. Our recommendations for Wiley Road include lowering the speed limit to 30 miles per hour and updating all speed limit signage along that segment, as well as installing a vehicular speed feedback sign onto the existing school zone flashing beacon. The vehicular speed feedback sign is the one that tells you how fast you're going as you're approaching the sign. Hopefully, this alerts drivers who are going over the speed limit to slow down, especially in comparison to that 20 mile per hour school zone speed limit. We're also recommending adding some pavement markings along Wiley Road for people turning in and out of the Edgebrook subdivision, and removing some outdated bike lane signage that we observed in the field. This costs approximately $15,100. This table shows all of the recommendations that we have put in the slides previously, as well as their cost. The total cost for all of the recommendations, including intersection and roadway, is approximately $137,400 to $154,700. That concludes our presentation. Thank you so much for listening, and thank you so much for your time. Do you have any questions?
Helen, I'd like to,
On this end, wait, Ms. Watson, do you have anything, or you?
Can you come back to me? My
Go
head
ahead,
is full.
Jason.
I just think the best way to do this is go through each project one by one and have a discussion on each project. That's what I'd like to do. There's just too much to cover.
I think all
We don't have to make an action
I
tonight,
know,
so
but
this,
I
we can
wanna
discuss each
discuss
one of
it.
them.
Yeah.
So, we can do, I guess we can go through the first one, everybody can discuss the first one, go through the second one, discuss
Just
the
run
second
through,
one.
I think, it does.
So let's start with, Hymer Lane and 281. All right, we'll start there. All right.
Yeah.
Okay, do you all have any comments on Hymer Lane and 281? Councilman Brooks?
I do. So Joe and I do remember a promise from the developer of that RV park, and that was in the contract, if I'm not mistaken.
They did widen the road 4 feet there.
They did. They did. Okay, so they may get on that, and it still requires some attention to address some safety issues.
We observed the lane closest to the culvert to be 11 feet.
And what's the greatest risk? There's someone dragging a trailer across that might be a little too long, and they're going to the RV park.
Yeah, especially because that turn off of US 81, like you have to take the shoulder to make that right turn off of US 81 going southbound.
No.
There's no turn lane.
The
So,
spring wind's supposed to be making everybody come the back way. But the reason all those,
oh,
we
sorry.
could pull up the picture, the intersection.
It's page 51 of 169, guys.
Sorry, this thing is.
Yeah.
I guess that was the compliment.
Yeah, that was,
It was initially. It was initially. That was around.
I remember that.
What was it? So do we have a contract on that we can pull to look at it?
It's West Spring Wind RV Park, it's new RV park. They agreed that intersection was troublesome, and so if you stop it right here. All this material, this was added by West Spring Wind. From here up, it should be widened 4 feet. I think that's widened.
This says 3 feet pavement widening.
That's proposed. That's 3 feet on top of what's already there.
Pavement. Okay, so is there some like road base there now
The road's already widened 4 feet.
with road base? Not pavement, right?
The tan stuff is what's left over from the road widening. That's the shoulder.
Do we know how wide that road is right now?
It varies a little bit, but it's approximately 23 feet, 23 to 24 feet.
What I was getting at is the reason these are all left over is probably from somebody dragging a fifth wheel over them. So if you put a raised guardrail, you're gonna have somebody drag a trailer on top of the guardrail. So that would not work, in my opinion. What this intersection is horrible. Okay, for one, what really needs to happen is this intersection needs to be taken out and aligned to 281 at the right angle. That's what I think. I think you're not going to make this intersection any better. It needs to be aligned with 281 and the cross street. Yeah, you're going to do like 100.
Don't you have a drainage area there? Don't you have a flood area there on the side that I remember seeing that it was really badly flooded?
Well, there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Be wide.
The intersection just needs to be aligned with the
You'll be
crossover.
Well, what I'm trying to say is you wouldn't be able to put it that way because the way the water runs through the drainage. So would you?
I'm just saying, I don't know if we should upgrade the road and it's still a sketchy intersection. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I agree.
It'd be better to align it. And maybe that's something we could put on the CIP, but I don't know.
And
That's
there's
not.
intersections.
So these are all recommendations, so.
Yeah.
We could definitely take this back and
Because this is an expensive fix. The
That's-
proposed
that's the
fix is
most
expensive.
Yeah, the proposed fix, like if you wanna straighten it out, would be more to see.
No, I'm saying the proposed preliminary
Oh,
fix for this
Proposed.
is 36.9.
Oh, yeah.
if we do
because of
metal
the
beam.
guardrails, yeah.
Yeah, you can ask.
If it's gonna be expensive,
It's gonna be $150,000 if you change the road.
yeah,
It will,
something like,
but this intersection is problematic.
And that would be to prevent a low
Putting
speed
lipstick on it.
roadway excursion, right?
Well, wait, so because there's not a turn lane there, and that's one of the biggest issues, right? Because they're so close in here to be able to turn off, right?
Yeah.
In here.
Was this-
So-
Yeah.
If,
It's there.
yeah, I understand, but
Yeah,
I'm
if you-
saying if they were to cut
If
this
you like
out and do a
140
turn lane in there, where they cut some of this off, then we'd be able to make that turn. I don't know, this is one we're gonna have to look
so I
at.
think the direction maybe tonight is to say we need
We've
some
had
other
a discussion
options.
on this one, we're not making a decision on
No,
this one
that's,
tonight.
okay.
Okay,
That's just-
right,
that's
let's
just
just
my
leave that one on a
Some
discussion.
other options.
Okay,
Rather than training these.
I'm moving on to 2, okay?
Sounds good.
2, Shepherd's Ranch and Grand Road. So you want to install a stop bar. So the stop bar would be right here,
Mhm.
and that's just paint.
Yeah,
Yes.
I'm sure we're training.
Okay, and then we're going to do the 30-mile-per-hour speed limit signs, because it's already 30.
Yes. So
Yeah,
it's
I mean,
basically refreshing the striping and center
Okay,
line.
what requires an update to the city code of ordinances? What part of this?
The city code of ordinances states that all roads are 35 miles per hour. And has like a specified section or specified table stating different, or roads that are supposed to have a different speed limit other than 35. Currently, I believe there's only one road on there, it's Boulevardy Road.
Boulevardy Hills is 30.
Yeah, and, the code of ordinance needs to be updated significantly.
There's gonna be I was gonna
Yeah.
say there's a school zone issue.
There's a lot of 30 mile an hour, 20 mile an hour that are not set in the ordinance. So this is getting into that direction and cleaning that up. Especially 30 mile.
So can we add this to something that can be done over the next, that can be looked at by your offices and everything, and see which ones are 30, which ones are 35 in a whole, so that we can look at the ordinances and figure out which ones need to be changed for the city? Because this is gonna entail buying more signs for some other locations. So now it's not gonna be $3,900, it may be $15,000 by the time we look at the other ones that, when we change the ordinance, that would also need speed limit signs.
I guess I'm not understanding the direction. You want us to go and do the study on all the streets?
No, that's not what I'm saying. What I am saying is that based upon the other roads that should be the same speed limit as this one that are currently not that speed limit, okay, if we make this change, let's make them all together when we make the change to the ordinance. So now this isn't gonna be $3,900, maybe $1,500, right? If you make the change to the ordinances, you also have to change the signs to the other streets, right? So they'll need to be done all at the same time. And what I'm saying is, can we, in this item, can we go ahead and include the other streets that we would also need to get new signs for when we change the ordinance?
We could, except some of the other streets would be 30 mile an hour, but there's signs already there that 30 mile an hour. We just need to change the
Yeah,
ordinance,
it's
not
just-
the sign.
It's just the ordinance part.
Yeah, just the ordinance part, not
Yeah.
the physical sign itself.
We
So
won't have
you're
to
sure we
replace
won't
them.
have to change any of the 35s back to 30?
So like, Boulevardy Hills is what, 30 mile an hour?
It's 30.
Okay, 30, so we would
We just
just
put that
change
in
the ordinance.
Yeah.
To put Boulevardy Hills 30 mile an hour,
That makes sense.
yeah, easier that way.
Okay,
So
so
now-
all I'm saying is let's make sure that, we include all the signs if we do this one, when we change the ordinance, so we include any signs that need to be changed. It may not be Boulevardy Hills, it may be another sign that says 35, and you need to go back to a 30 or whatever. And that's all I'm saying, is that go ahead and include it, so if the cost to change all those signs are gonna be 1,500, 5,000 versus 3,900, that we have that, and do it all at one time when we
Yeah,
change the ordinance.
we wouldn't change I wouldn't change the sign from a 35 to 30,
You keep
just
it the
because I
same.
would need, the engineer to do the study,
Right.
to see if it
No, we would
justifies.
just keep everything the same.
Yeah.
Just update for it.
Exactly, but when you
Just
change
update
the ordinance, that's what I'm saying,
Yeah,
so
so
we change it all together.
When we do the ordinance, we'll just.
That's
add that.
confusing and on one bill.
Yeah.
That's all. Okay,
Yeah, I don't.
go to
I
the
don't
next,
know if you want. What,
So,
also,
this one,
we go back.
are we good?
go back to that one.
I mean, I don't have a whole lot to say about this one. I think we could kind of take a more minimalistic approach. I mean, I know Freeze and Mitchell, they're looking to, find the best strategy to do this, but I'm also like fiscally conservative. And I think you could do the same thing with less here. I mean, especially on Shepherd Ranch, you can have the stop bar, stop sign, and the speed limit signs, and don't,
And not
don't restrict
restrict.
the center line.
Yeah.
So, because I mean, this is an old road. It's Shepherd Ranch. Yeah. So I think we could do less here.
Can we get the
Well, when is-
estimates? So sorry.
I know, I was gonna ask, and it probably is gonna go to your question.
The striping.
When is that road on our list? Is it on our list for the next 5 years?
Actually, Brand Road from, Shepherd to 46 is actually on next year's list.
Yeah, so we could paint at that same time while they're there, and maybe it's not
Yeah.
gonna cost all of this.
So,
Okay.
so what are the recommendations we can do? The ordinance part of it is more like, okay, let's approve the ordinance. Once you decide to say, yes, let's do
Right.
that. We could add this into the plan for next year to do
Right.
during our road plan. That's kind of what we're thinking as far as the money coming from, is the money that
gotcha.
we had saved, or even implemented it in next year's
Right,
road
we
plan.
just knock it out.
Can we see so the preliminary cost estimate here covers 1, 2,
All the
3,
improvements.
3 different items? Can we get those by line item so that we could, sort of say, yeah, we're not gonna do the double line now because Brand Road is on.
We need to put all these in the budget? Is that what we're trying to do here, or are we just?
It would be in the budget for next year's road maintenance program,
Mhm.
yes.
Yeah, that would be part of
But
it.
we're not increasing it. We're just gonna
No.
use the money that we've already got in there right now.
Yes, the 1.5 million.
Okay, but
So
these would be items that we're just going to figure out if we were going to add them to there. And so we actually do not have to make that decision tonight. We're just discussing this.
But there are some things in here that don't require a budgetary adjustment
Right.
that we can do. Yes.
My question is, so these are all slated for the 2027 road maintenance plan?
Not
Or
all
are they
of
gonna
them.
be broke up?
No, not all of them, like, for example, Ashbrook.
Yeah.
All that is signage, and then we would paint the curb.
But we already have budget item for signage. So,
Right.
right, that's that money that we already have in there to be used for signs if we need to. So, we don't even have to approve that because Mike, it's $3,900. You can sign up on that, right?
How much do we have in the signage budget
Yeah,
area?
you might need a
Signage
budget.
is, I think 15,000.
Yeah, there's not a lot. there.
It's not a lot. Now, we would use the road maintenance.
Yeah.
Okay, so then let's, so obviously we're not gonna be able to make a decision tonight on which one we're gonna choose and which one we're not,
So
right?
we're just giving recommendations.
But
We'd like
can
to
we,
get
wait,
some
wait,
approval.
can I finish? Can we make a list of kind of what we're thinking here at this point? And then finish that discussion on when we have the budget numbers in front of us?
The budget numbers for next year,
Mhm.
when we start.
Like at
that
our budget
process?
meeting?
We can,
Can I
I don't
just,
know how that
what is the agenda item tonight calling for? What is it you need? Is it
Just
just
recommend-
receiving this
Yeah, approving the recommended.
possible action? We don't.
possible action?
It's
Okay,
discussion.
so I'd like
And
to see,
recommendation.
so maybe what we do tonight is we say, what we'd like you to come back with on these, or, right?
That's what I thought.
What's your anticipated target dates for approval? Like, what are you targeting?
Today. I mean,
You
some of
want
this,
approval for this today?
yeah,
Yeah, approve
because
this
some of this
today.
stuff,
Uh-uh.
because there's 10 items in here. So some of
If
the
these
items,
are, sorry,
you could look at them, for example, Edgebrook. It's the signage, it's, no parking signs, speed limit signs. It's very doable. That wouldn't require us to come back and say, do we
Here's a
want?
modification.
So are we
Yeah.
no
Yeah,
longer?
but that one did say that we had to have a conversation with your HOA.
The
I can make it happen.
I'm just saying, are we still talking through sequence each item now? Or
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll
We
wait
haven't
till-
gone there. So, but, like, can we see, like,
I say for
these are
30.
listed, there's not a priority,
I think for
right?
30
They're not
days,
listed
Let's move forward with
Yeah.
on which one?
this one we're looking at. I mean, it needs to.
Well, we gotta
let's go.
make, wait, we've gotta do a city code of ordinance, so we gotta change that, so we need the ordinance in front of us before we can do
Yeah, so-
anything
so-
with that, we can't vote on that tonight.
I
So
don't
what
think
we'll
you should
do-
do the center line.
So what we'll
Because
do
the
on
road's
these,
gonna get updated.
so what we'll do on the ordinances, and this is the reason why we didn't bring the ordinances today, because we knew that some of them might not go through, is that once you approve, let's say you wanted to approve the recommendation for Shepherd Ranch and Brand Road, we would add that ordinance change and bring it, as a consent agenda next time or our next meeting, say, here's
The
the ones you
ordinance.
approved, let's get this ordinance done so we can get
Okay.
along with that.
So what we would like to see for Shepherd's Ranch and Brand Road is install a stop bar,
And the
Okay.
speed limits.
put up and the speed limit sign. Go ahead and get the requirement for the city code of ordinances so that we can do that on the chapter 12, for next meeting. We'll put that on the agenda, the next meeting. And then we won't do the yellow double stripe center line along.
Because they're on the list for
Because
next
they're,
year.
they're on the list for next year. Okay, that one works. Move
Yeah,
to
I
the
just
next
want
one.
your recommendation.
That makes
What it
easier.
is.
Right. Then we're on Casey Road in Monica View. So on Casey Road in Monica View, they need a speed limit sign. The code will change for this.
No, they're keeping.
Wait,
this.
it requires
They're keeping
update
this
to
on.
city code of ordinances, chapter 12, and council approval for specified speed limits. So that doesn't cost us anything. So we can do that, and we can do the speed limit sign.
And the markings.
And then it says add white. When is this one on the list to be?
That one's already done.
We already did.
We
that,
did
is
that,
what I was gonna get. So it would just be.
It'd just be the
speed
sign, just be the.
Just a
limit
speed
sign.
Because we already did the white 8-foot
Yeah.
markings as part of the road work
limit.
this
Don't
year.
go touching Casey Road.
Yeah,
Yeah, Casey
All
Road
we're
looks
doing
good. So all you need is a sign there, right?
yes, ma'am.
And an ordinance
Yes.
approval. Okay, get that one on the list for next time
And
too then.
so that price, the 1,300, that's just for this.
It's-
That's
speed
just for the
limit
sign, yeah,
Before-
sign, pole, and still.
Okay. All right,
Alright.
then let's go to the next one then. Then this is Barton Hill and Casey Road. I hate this intersection.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Okay,
know what to say about this one.
yeah, I do too. All right, so on this one, we want to convert to a stop control at Barton Hill Drive. That means take out that yield sign that's been hit 3 or 4 times. Somebody's taken it out 3 or 4. So there's been more accidents there than that because they've taken off the sign. They just haven't been
Right.
reported.
Hit and run.
Right.
Okay, and then we need to add speed limit sign on the hill, on that back hill there, to the right, or excuse me, to the left. So, add that because there's not one there and you can't see anything when you come over this hill. And then require update, well, that's an ordinance, and then, okay, so the ordinance, we can put that ordinance on there too, Mike. And then add the speed limit and advanced warning signs along Casey Road, wait, and I'll let you talk. And then convert the yield to a stop. What did you want to add there?
Yeah, you can't have a stop sign there. The way this intersection works, you have uphill grade on Casey Road, downhill grade on the other end of Casey Road, and uphill on Barton Hill Drive. That intersection, if you put a stop sign there, you're gonna have the way to accelerate getting on Casey Road. The way it works best right now is just with the yield sign. I drive this road almost every day. You almost need to carry speed as you go through that intersection because people come up Casey Road so fast. If you have a stop sign there, you're gonna get rear-ended.
Only you and your big truck, because I'm gonna dip in on that. Because,
You cannot.
let me tell you something, if you stop, oh yeah, it needs a stop sign. People are just rolling through there and people are going around there to not hit the car that's sitting there.
What are
That's
you
in
talking
there. When the people come up the road on Casey Road, right? So when you come out of Casey Road, when you're coming up Casey Road, you can't see over the hill, right? Because you can't see anybody who's
You
coming.
can't, so you can't have a delay there
It
getting into
needs to
the
be
intersection.
like,
I disagree. Because when you're pulling out, people come up PC Road so fast, if you're accelerating from a stop, you're gonna increase
If
the
you're not
time
stopping there anyway, you're gonna get hit.
I don't think you should put a stop sign there.
Drive it at 3 o'clock when everybody's getting out of school coming through there. It's bad. It needs,
I drive it every day.
and
If
it's
you put a
been hit.
stop sign there, well, the stop sign is gonna get hit too, it's in the same spot.
It's been, I know, because everybody's just driving over
Then
it.
it'll be back to the yield, because there's no stop sign. But
I
you
agree
can't
with,
put a stop
okay,
sign.
so I agree with your findings that we need a stop sign there.
I
Because
strongly
basically you did a study for it.
But Teresa Nichols doesn't drive this road every day.
I do.
What is the speed limit currently on Casey Road?
30, but people come over that hill going 45, 50 miles an hour.
Okay.
And there's nothing you can do about that.
And people are gonna get hit
Yeah.
if there's
put
not a stop sign there. No.
Yeah, and part of the recommendation is, we have to work with Comal County because, that section of Casey has come out. So
It's
you
a
have
line of sight
additional signs, you have like, advanced, like T-intersection signs on both sides to let travelers know, like, there's a T-intersection there,
So
and then reduce, and the speed limit.
I like the T set, but let me ask you, because it's in Comal, wouldn't they pay for those signs?
We'd have to talk to them about
Well, I
I'd
don't
have
see why
to
they
believe-
wouldn't.
What's the line of sight from that intersection to the top of the hill on Casey Road?
That intersection is.
It is the top of the hill.
Oh, this, okay, I see.
You
Yeah,
see-
it is the top of
The
the hill.
car sees you as you're about here. And they're going 45 miles an hour. So if you have a delay of accelerating here, you're going to be in the intersection longer. It works better as a yield sign.
I don't agree with that at all.
I do.
But I think the issue when you're coming out of the yield, you're just coming out when traffic is
You're
coming
looking
down.
at the front.
You
You're-
are,
you're-
but the other people aren't. That's the problem.
It's not gonna work.
It'll work really
It's gonna
well.
work horrible.
And we need one at Bulverde Hills too, and the other one
So
too.
is there a consensus on council for
Yeah.
this?
So my,
Apparently not.
what we said,
You cannot put a stop sign.
I agree with the engineer study on
It's
this.
gonna be dangerous.
And that,
Mayor, can you
we
do your
need-
thing and go down the list here?
wait, I'm gonna read what we gotta do first, and then we can agree of what we're gonna do. So can you go back one? Okay, so we need to convert to the to a stop sign at Casey Road.
No.
And then, excuse me, on Barton Hill to Casey Road. And then you're going to add a speed limit sign, advanced warning signs along Casey Road on both, on the eastbound on Casey. And then on the westbound, you're gonna add a T sign, which, indicating that there's a road there. So we'll need 2 of those. And then the speed limit 30 miles down there at the bottom, it looks like what they're adding. This will require an update to the city code, and, the preliminary cost for $4,600. If we have to pay for it, we can get the county to pay for it, then
Perfect.
it would be better, we'd be paying $1,600 for a stop sign.
I guarantee if you put a stop sign there, the city will get so much hate mail. I mean, from everybody that lives in Bulverde Hills. And also, you know how steep that hill is on Burnsville Drive going up that stop sign? It's pretty brutal. If you drive a manual car, you're gonna just hate your life. I mean,
We keep that clutch leg strong.
Does anybody own a manual?
you know,
I do.
it's, the yield sign works best there.
Do we have a consensus on council on which direction to go?
I'll go down the line one at a time.
I had a flip point on this one.
Yeah, we have 2 council members that live in the neighborhood,
I'm telling you.
3,
it's not gonna work.
right? And so
Two
a stop sign on the surface of it makes sense to me, but I cannot imagine a T intersection that doesn't have a stop sign, just sort of objectively.
Every intersection in Bulverde Hills has yield time.
So,
Right.
crash,
Casey
there has
Road
been a crash here. One motor vehicle going straight struck fence after swerving to avoid vehicle intersection from Barton Hill Drive. Because he yielding didn't stop.
Pull up the picture of the crash. There's a pathway on the crash.
Okay,
It's
we
not
have
just
an
you down
engineering
there.
study on it, Councilman Kraywitz.
The
Okay,
engineers don't believe
so I'm gonna put this, up for discussion down here at this end?
Zach, you got some insight on this.
All I know is
Well, I'd say the only compelling argument against it is indeed the geometry. If it wasn't for the steepness of that hill, it'd be a no-brainer, slam dunk. Did your study take into account that particular topography there? Because it is somewhat anomalous. You can't really tell on an overhead map.
The recommendation for the stop sign, it took into account the grade change on Casey Road, but it didn't necessarily take into account the grade change on Barton Hill Drive. But
I do the same.
So Barton Hill's going down, right?
No, you get up to the top of Barton Hill, there's a White House and
Barton
there's
Hill, it's like this
No.
going up to the intersection.
you don't stop like that. I have
If
a
you have a
picture.
stop sign, you'll have a queue of cars that are
I have
like.
a picture.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, hang on, so this is lower?
No.
Yeah.
You've got
The intersection is the peak of the hill. This is downhill, this is downhill, this is downhill.
Everybody's like,
And
climbing.
people go across Casey doing 45, 50 miles an hour.
Well, that's a problem for starters,
It's
but
almost like should the stop sign.
It needs to, no, there's no
But the
stop.
problem is you won't see it.
You need to stop way on Barton Hill.
It looks like a traffic light. You're not gonna be able to do that. The
Without
topography-
dropping the grade or something.
You've got maybe,
So you have, basically Casey is the major road at this
Yeah.
intersection, right? So you need to put a stop sign on Martin Hill so that people stop just driving out in the middle of it. Because number two, you can't see what's coming eastbound off of Casey when they come up the hill. You can't see it. And somebody who's not from around there, that doesn't drive it every day, would not know that.
All the stop signs
So
gonna
it's
do,
pretty bad.
it's gonna delay the time to accelerate to that intersection.
It-
That's all the.
It's gonna
stop
keep
signs
people safe because it is not easy to.
You won't be able to pull out because there's
You
car
will be
after
able-
car coming over the hill.
So you're for it, you're not for it, what do you want? You want a yield sign, stop sign, stop light? Crosswalk,
I mean, in a perfect
That's a
world,
safety issue. And there's been an accident there
Not because it's the yield time.
because it avoided the car that pulled out in front of it.
got maybe 4 car lengths, where it's not so horrible to grade. I'm inclined to err on the side of caution and go with the stop sign. And this is coming from one who also drives a manual. I'd rather have a little truculent trucking than, you know, straight up. T-bone.
that's excellent.
And I'm with you on that.
You'll just
Okay,
drive
so-
at 9 in the morning.
I fully understand where you're coming from, Jason, but, that,
You just do exactly.
exactly.
Got the clutch.
Okay, so let's do that. So,
You didn't talk all the time.
wait a minute, I'm going through the list. So where are we on, the primary concern was the site distance on there. So we are looking at talking to the county about, we all agreed to talking to the county about getting the other signs, which would be the 2 T signs and the 30-mile-per-hour speed limit. We would need to require an update to city code of ordinances, so we can add that one to the list also. And we can vote right now on adding the speed limit, the stop sign.
I think it sounds like we're all in agreement about everything except the stop sign.
Exactly, that's
Right.
why I said we can vote on the agreement to the stop sign right now.
You haven't gone down the line.
I don't know that are we voting tonight? I'm so confused. We're giving direction to staff.
You have the option to vote. You captioned it so that you have the option to vote if you so desire.
On an item by item basis like this?
Sure.
Well, we need to see if we're gonna add it to the list.
I'm telling you, it's not gonna end well.
So does
Pretty good at-
everybody agree?
Let's see. I think we're.
I don't
Okay.
drive the intersections,
It's bad.
I have a hard time disagreeing.
I drive it
But
8 or
I
9
do
times
too.
a day.
I do see the logic to tricky intersection to have it at yield to.
You literally can't see the
Cause I mean,
cars.
the yield's either you stop or you go, right?
They are coming up that Casey Road, you don't see them until they're in the intersection.
I
If
trust,
you don't
I
see-
do trust the data, but you're saying that
You
your
have-
study did not account for the grade on Barton Hill, which is the basis of this argument. So I can't go with the recommendation on this aspect.
Engineers.
I just have to trust Zach, Ellen, Jason, and right now it sounds like Ellen and Zach are both in agreement that the stop sign is an appropriate improvement at the intersection.
I always stop there anyway because, you know, for that very reason, you can't.
You can't see.
Okay, so I'm right, there. All right,
Increasing the time in the intersection is the best way to avoid an accident.
I'm sorry, can I just get some clarity? What we're saying, the argument against the stop sign is
great.
that you need the speed to get through that intersection safely. But I've also heard you say, Jason, that you can't see the cars on Casey Road coming into the intersection.
The way it works is you get up that intersection and you roll through it looking left, and then
No,
a car is coming up over the hill and you have to roll through it.
That
That's
doesn't,
fine. If you could put a stop sign in there, I'm just not gonna stop. I'm just gonna roll through it.
Jason, I see your point, but I can't follow you just because I do see a consensus between the two effects.
I mean, it's hard to understand without you driving the intersection at peak hours.
so can we say that we agree with all of the recommendations except the stop sign, and we are all gonna go out and drive it and come back and speak to it? I don't know what else to do,
Yeah,
because I feel
I mean, it's a top down.
I understand.
Scale.
I understand, Jason, I'm agreeing with you. If there are factors here that weigh on the decision, we don't wanna make a dumb decision, right?
No, I agree.
Maybe it would help for us to go out and take a look at it. Can we do that?
It's just like if you get up there and there's a car coming, you stop, and if there's no car, you pull out, then you look at your rearview mirror, and there's some guy right on your phone, because you can't see him.
Jason, that is,
That
that
sounds
is
like
a
an argument.
bad
That sounds like an argument in favor of
This
the
is
stop sign.
Jason's
that we said.
Hill to die on tonight. Casey Road and Barton intersection.
Telling you. you're
I will
gonna
de-
have an accident.
I will defer to the majority.
not true.
I'll defer to the majority.
I don't have experience in this other than being a practical everyday driver. That's not really the basis of the side argument. I think that you can't go to study supplies. You can only go on the opinions of council. Right now, there's 3 people that routinely drive this, 2 of which I want the sign, 1 of which doesn't.
Yield sign doesn't mean you don't stop, it just allows you to move through the
I
intersection.
think you should yield to the democratic process. Right.
I mean, that's fine, we put a stop sign, I'm just having it on video recording, and I was against it.
It's in the minutes. It's in the minutes. It's objective. You say, I told them, let it fly.
What is it?
But I just think, take that
I
argument.
have no idea what we're doing.
Okay,
They get to vote.
so,
I've made my peace. That's all.
okay,
It's on
let's,
video that
well, let's,
We will have a special note in the minutes.
Thank you.
Jason is not in accordance. Okay, so are the rest of us in accordance to adding the stop sign?
I'm agnostic. I will defer to the majority. I don't have a strong opinion one way or the other.
Question, stop
It
sign?
sounds like it is 2 out of
Stop sign.
1 that drive.
Stop sign, 3 stop sign?
Stop sign, I
Okay.
guess, say stop sign.
Stop sign, okay, so 5, 6, 5.
It's not a vote, but the consensus.
Yeah, the
is-
consensus is to put the stop sign. And to agree with the engineers.
Well, if it doesn't work, it don't work. Then we go back to a yield sign.
You know, when somebody gets in a wreck.
I mean, they've already changed the speed limit on 281 twice on us, right? So.
Yeah.
With
People
the,
drive 25 over.
they realize the speed.
Okay,
limit-
moving on. So we're moving on to
Just a roll.
the next one. We're gonna do Marvel and Premiere.
This strikes me as a no-brainer.
All right, hey, Tress, I didn't mean to step on you,
Sorry.
but I do need to
Okay.
speak on this, because this is something I brought up the moment I became HOA president-elect there. I brought it up with the city, there's email traffic, I wanted to have a contractor go out and paint this no parking strip. I've almost gotten smoked on a number of occasions here. I've observed kids on their e-bikes out there, no understanding of road rules regard people coming down that road 25, 35 miles per hour. That is an absolute safety necessity. That's something that's been in play for years. I would ask you guys to really consider getting this thing done.
100%. This seems like a
So-
no-brainer.
I'm gonna ask a question really quick. How did something like this get approved when they developed?
Well, so this is what I was gonna say, because There's so many other things, just as a general note, something for us to keep in
Keep
mind.
in mind for
Why,
future,
for future,
yes.
why is the developer, we are looking, if we skip ahead, at what,
Yeah,
another
another one, yes.
$50,000? More than that for, and again, the
For
folks
something
that
the developer should use.
but the
It's
developer
because-
absolutely should have done.
But the developer plans for one car in the driveway, one car in the street,
This
and
is not,
family park 4
this
cars
is
in
a
the
council
Well, this is
issue.
the things
This
that
is
they talk about.
council
About
should
how
be
wide-
raising.
So
That's why
you're
that
telling me
might-
if there's cars parked there, how would a fire truck get through there?
Yeah,
We'll try and get through the
look
rest
at
of
the
it.
radius there, it goes to Belly.
I mean, but how wide is it?
I'm just saying, whatever,
If you had a car there and a car there, would
you
it?
come this way, this is loaded up consistently. You can't see oncoming traffic. So this guy bubbling through or racing
Wow.
through, you can't see it to that point. That accident occurs there.
Yep, that's what I said, the fire truck, how, it's just,
This
How
is
does
a
it get
cautionary
past the
tale. This is a cautionary tale from
Do you think if there was no cars there, would they carry more speed through the turn?
No, at that point, they've got committed to what their speed is in the neighborhood. That's my observation. People are either gonna drive 30, 35.
hey, can the option be to put speed bumps right there?
No,
Speed
no,
bumps?
no, no,
You don't want,
no.
speed bumps are a maintenance like.
yeah.
Dude, that is like the least popular thing you could ever do, like, for,
But they have those little rumble things, it doesn't have to be the,
you put your own calming devices out there, I guarantee you someone's gonna go out there and they're gonna remove.
I think to
Yeah,
the mayor's
I mean-
point, this is something council needs to keep in mind the next time we're looking at a development proposal. Because the fact that the city is now looking at $50,000 additional dollars for something relatively new neighborhood, things that maybe should have been discussed before they went in, those additional signs, these issues should have been addressed as part of the development plan. Too late now to do anything about it, just as a cautionary tale for next time.
So this raised
This
crosswalk,
seems like a no-brainer.
this is only understood and necessary after, this is understanding and analysis that's
Sure.
proven
Okay.
date, that you can't really look at a building plan and say, this is appropriate based on, without the
but when
data.
we go and look at, and, you know, for final and stuff like that, that should.
No, there's already existing ordinance for sightline, it's violated, so.
You know,
Well,
this
that's
is-
what I'm
so-
saying.
So Chris lives
Exactly.
there.
When they go and do the final and all that stuff, they should have said, nope, that's not acceptable, we're not accepting that, you know, but that's what she's saying, we need to be looking at that as council of the city, right?
Edwards didn't exist in the first place.
Exactly. Okay, so here's the deal.
This is a no-brainer.
This is a no-brainer, that's where I'm going. So we are gonna create that no parking zone there. We need a coordinated enforcement between the HOA, the city council, and the city of Alberta Police Department, so that they know that we'll have a no parking sign noted, so it can be, taken care of as needed.
And I think we go with the full red curb paint, the whole kit and caboodle.
Yes, which would have to be added to our maintenance plan. Because now we're gonna have to start painting it every year, okay? So let's think about that, make sure it gets on the maintenance plan there, Erin. Okay, and then, we'll do the require the updates to city code of ordinances and, anybody wanna go paint so that it doesn't cost $2,500?
So,
I'm gonna get that.
one thing,
If we do that internally, it's still gonna cost us $2,500 to paint that curb.
one thing I do have though, is, so that like leaves that homeowner no parking. Really?
Yeah, so the parking, they can park up there at least. They can park up
They
there.
can park over here. Yeah.
That's the recommended park.
They'll just reach out to Chris, or they don't have any parking.
There, yeah, cost $100. Okay, so, like I said, if we paint it internally, we save us $2,500. Okay, moving on to the next one then. The next one is Brand Road.
I think this is, Brand Road is on the list for road maintenance.
That's where it
next year,
is, yes.
And I say we hold off on this.
I'm telling you, the people in Shepherd's Ranch aren't gonna like all those signs on their road.
But they're the ones, again, this list came from listening and.
I'm just telling you, as a
this is-
community,
This is one of the ones that were just.
I will say that the community members I've spoken with along
Yeah.
Brand Road have requested this.
Yeah.
they requested.
I have
Yes.
versus multiple times.
Yes, he's been to all my town hall meetings about it, so yes.
So can we say yes to the speed limit signs, but no to, center line pavement markings, same as before, because
Wait,
it's gonna
so install additional speed, we're gonna install the additional speed limit signs, it says speed limit signs, how many, we're putting in 2, right?
Yes.
But we're also changing that, right, because isn't it the speed limit over there?
It's 30.
It's 30.
It's 30.
Okay,
be, so again, that's gonna be an update to the ordinance.
Yes.
Yes.
so
It's not
make
in
the
the
change to the ordinance, Mike, and then we'll install the additional speed limit signs and the
Winding roads.
winding road signs.
But no on the center line because of the road maintenance next year. Okay.
So that would be basically 5 signs that we're changing there, so it's not 24,000.
Yeah.
It'll be like 4,000, 5,000.
Yes.
Okay, then we'll do that. All right, we got through it.
And I think this is the Shepherd's Ranch to Earl Oak Avenue is the same.
Yeah, same
Yes.
situation.
So we can update the ordinance, but let's hold off on the center line paperwork.
Yeah, it'll go next year in what we look at for the other.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
Here you go, Chris.
Marble Road, okay, so we need to install 25-mile-per-hour speed limit signs. Is it currently 30 there, or is
No,
it
because
currently?
there is no signs, it defaults to the prima facie, ordinance
35.
35.
You're
That's too fast.
Okay, so just
already out.
what
Yeah.
differentiates this being 25 and not 30?
Because of the speed study they did, the 85 percentile shows that the travel speed should be 25 miles.
And Aaron, may I ask you, the density, density.
Yeah.
Okay,
What,
I'm
may I
not,
ask why this would be designated at 25 in the village itself, 20? You got real world, you see how many cars are lined up in units, kids out there, we're talking about a raised crosswalk, elevate and allow for safe passage across the street. But it's gonna be a higher speed limit than a very, very open, prominent intersection near the village. 20. I personally believe 20 is a more appropriate speed for a dense residential. That's my opinion. I know that the data supports what people are typically deciding on, but in my observation, based on real world conditions, cars parked all over the place, kids on e-bikes, kids running around, 20 is probably a far better, because lots of folks do look at the speed limit as what they're gonna drive, and you're gonna have some exceedance.
There's also the 5-mile rule, right?
That's my rule too. Chief says no more than 11, right?
10%,
Is it, yeah.
Oh, golly. 10%.
I'll defer that question.
Okay, so, all right, so we're looking at installing 25-mile-per-hour speed limit signs here, okay? Based upon the percentile speed, I'm just reading what they got, wait a minute. We're in the installation of the raised crosswalk across Versace neighborhood pool and playground, evaluate need of shifting stop signs or pedestrian ramps to safer locations. So explain,
I'm sorry.
where is that actually, let's see, recommend
The locations are shown in purple.
in purple, okay, distance at minor street stop signs are also in front of the existing. Okay, and then require update to city code, we'll have, okay, to our ordinance, and the preliminary cost estimate. Again, we're picking up another. So how much is the HOA willing to help us out with this? You don't pay for your roads.
You pay the lowest dues in all the neighborhoods in the area, I think it's like.
No, but then Bill says that they,
Oh,
nobody
Bill,
It's not money that we it's, we're just not there.
so I'm sorry, Chris had a question.
So,
Chris had a question pending.
Yeah.
Why not 20?
We recommended 25 based on the observed.
Right.
Behavior.
Yeah, observed behavior, but we can take a look at seeing if 20 is needed. We also didn't take into account the speed limits of the nearby neighborhoods. Don't remember which one we visited. There is another.
So let me interject here real quick, and I'm gonna look at you, Chief. That 85th percentile is a benchmark, and when you're defending, when our prosecutor is prosecuting the case, the judge will ask, what is your speed study? You know, and if we say the speed study, we give someone a ticket for 20 mile an hour, we're violating 20 mile an hour. What does the speed study? It's been done. Speed study is done. And the 85th percentile was 25. that judge will dismiss that case.
You should tell Hollywood Park
I live there, thank you.
And that's a very fair point, I appreciate that. I don't think it's been the rule that you put 25 when I feel more like 24 appropriate. Real world probably is, but in having the speed limit, you're gonna catch the outliers. Those are the real risks that we're seeing on a frequent basis. And your data supports that, I'm sure.
Chief, did you have anything to add to what I just said?
The only thing that I would add is I've never seen a speed study come up in a trial before. And I think the trial station speed limit is 30, not 35.
Well,
Our ordinance says 35. Our ordinance says unless
That's why we're
specified.
changing it.
Yeah, yeah.
That's why we keep reciting that we need to change the ordinance 12, is to make it 30. Or to change it to make it,
We're not gonna change all the speed limits.
it's the roads. The roads are listed.
The way the ordinance is written, it defaults to 35 unless it's otherwise specified. And
Listed
what
on
we're
the list
saying
of the
is-
road.
Right, what we're saying is, there are places that are posted for less that have not been listed in the ordinance, we're just updating.
But I was getting Helen, we're gonna update the baseline speed that they're,
No,
nobody said
just
that.
by the roads that are listed.
that's fine.
So,
I just had to clarify.
Okay,
Mr.
so let's go
HOA
back.
HOA president-elect,
25,
25?
That's what you're saying.
25.
You've resigned.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so let's go
25,
back. So we want to install 25 mile/hour speed limit signs. I'm gonna go to you in just a second, just like we did the other. Okay, installation of the raised crosswalks across Versace. Hey, does raised crosswalks constitute a speed bump?
It does.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's traffic coming.
Okay, so they're gonna drop their speed limit anyway to go over that, right? So you could leave it at 25 because they're gonna drop it anyway here over the top, right? Okay, yeah, so installation of the raised crosswalk will drop that speed limit lower than 25. And then requires update to the city code of ordinance, so we get that on there. And then, we'll go from there, and we'll figure out how to add this into our budget for the upcoming year for the amount.
Yeah, I'm almost wondering, are we past the point where we could add 50,000 or something to the budget specifically for these items? In other words, what I'm getting at, Aaron has a road maintenance budget for the year, and if this year's any indication, it could be tight for next year, if we're gonna add things to that now.
Well, that's what I said, can we get a list of all of this compared to what we got already at our budget meeting of what we'll need, what we're looking at if we add these items?
I can tell you, remember, we got about 149,000.
Wiggle room.
Wiggle room.
That's not a whole lot.
And then you have some funds that are left in your public works, right? That were, yeah, he did, so he,
Well, it doesn't carry over.
It doesn't carry over.
It doesn't carry over.
so how long we got left to use it? 30 days?
September, well,
So if you sign off for it, Mike, before then, does it,
No,
it has to be.
it has to be expended.
well, how long is it gonna expense to get the signs?
Of October, if you're ordering products, they have to be.
4 to 6 weeks.
Yeah, it takes good 4 weeks. And if we're ordering, public signs can take a while.
So Mike, am I remembering correctly that we are past the point where we could add a budget line item at this point?
I believe so.
Yeah, because we have the
All
balance.
right, so it would have to come out of the road maintenance.
Yeah, because we
budget
have
for
a
next
balanced
year.
budget for this year already. Okay, all right, so we're gonna add this in there, but we've got to figure out where we're gonna come up with the money for this. Okay, to do all of this, and I know how important it is, but definitely, I mean, we can move forward with the speed limit signs and the code approval and get those installed for your 25, right? We'll figure out how to get the money in the budget for the raised crosswalks.
So again, I'd like to see itemized cost estimates for each item so that we can kind of pick and choose the
Yeah.
final. And that's for all of them.
Yes,
Okay.
and then we'll figure out how to
So
get
that we
the
can get the
crosswalks done.
Mayor, for cleanup too, I'd like to know that meets code anyway, like the way they built that subdivision. They didn't put any signage, speed limits or
I
anything.
know,
Did we
that's
fall
why I wanna
short?
know.
Or did the ordinance fall short, or where did we fall
Yeah.
short on having to do this.
We don't have any recourse at this point, do we?
Okay,
It's
whether
already
whether we do or don't, right?
For the
But
education.
These are
for,
things we
like,
need to do.
yes, we fell short, because I mean, this is horrible on a new subdivision that we're doing this.
Like I
Now,
said, the developer doesn't figure a family to have 4 cars working.
I'm not talking about cars, but just stop signs.
We're talking about signs.
I mean,
Those are
Okay.
things council needs to have.
Guys, we can talk about that at a later date. You just know we're really aware of it right now. Let's keep moving through this. Okay, so we got that one, Mike. We'll figure out how to get the stuff for the crosswalk speed bumps that they want to put there. Okay. Recommendations for Wiley Road. So lower the speed limit to 30 miles per hour and replace the existing speed limit signs. I totally agree with that school zone, because I've been in there and it's bad. The school zone flashing beacon, does Carmel ISD put those in, or do we?
We do.
Okay.
But we have
Can
to,
we-
sorry, we have to designate it a school zone in the ordinance, and that's.
Yes.
That's one of the things we have to.
We have that,
Right.
we have that.
Okay, so my question here would be, so we would designate it, would they have to change any, because now it becomes a school zone pick, and they got school zone pickup in there, right? Because you got all those parents coming in there when they go to pick up. So do we have to change any of the patterns, the road patterns or anything in our ordinance, or with whoever on this when we make all these changes? That's my question on that.
There should be no road, pattern change on that at all.
Okay, because I know the parents line up on the, they end up on this road then.
Yeah. I
So.
think the only thing that we're taking away is the removal of the bike lane signage.
So the question is, when the parents line up on this, and I know it's past it, you know, we're gonna be sitting here at 30, now it's a school zone and all that good stuff. I just wanna make sure that, you know, emergency, all that other stuff, still get through and figure all that.
It's a pretty wide.
It is, just double checking, it's important. Okay, so install the school zone flashing beacon assembly with the village, so we're gonna install one, right?
I say
Yeah,
something about that.
Wait,
Yeah, 'cause the
wait,
other
I'm gonna
ones
read them
come
all. Let me read them all. And then it requires an update to the city code of ordinances on chapter 12. And then we need to add pavement markings along Wiley Road for southbound right turn lane onto Joby. So you want to add a pavement markings along Wiley Road for southbound right turn lane onto Joby. So basically over here. Right,
It's
recommendation.
near the westernmost, based on the picture, the westernmost school driveway on the left side of the image.
Okay, and then we talking about removing, wait, I really wanna make everybody mad when we remove bike lanes.
Oh, the bike lane signage. So Wiley Road has a bike lane fully through the roadway.
Right.
The signage from before the roadway was extended to FM 1863 that states the bike lane ends before it truly does. That's all we're doing is removing the signage that says the bike lane ends, because it does continue past where it's saying it's ending. That's all we're recommending. We're not removing the actual bike lane itself, just the signage that says where it stops and starts.
Yeah, just keep going.
How far does this road belong to us on Wiley?
Just right up to the end of that picture is kind of where.
Oh, at the end of the
Yeah.
picture.
That whole section right there is that.
And then it's what, Bear County?
Come out.
Still come
On the southern side?
Yeah, it's Carmel.
Talking about.
It's Carmel. It doesn't, remember Carmel goes all the way to Constable Creek.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so, we're gonna put in a school sign there.
So,
And then we said to remove the outdated bike lane signage. Are we gonna use just move it, not remove it? Are we gonna remove and replace, I guess is the question.
Remove the whole assembly. Because there's additional bike lane signs along Wiley Road that say it continues. There's just a couple in place that say it starts and ends where aren't, like, the bike lane continues on both sides of where those existing signs are. There are signs appropriately placed where it does start and stop, but just removing where it doesn't appropriately say it
Just
starts and
taking those
stops.
Okay, save them because I'm sure we'll end up putting the bike lane somewhere else, we'll need them. Okay, add pavement markings along Wiley Road for the southbound right turn lane, so that is just painting the road again, right? Are we doing anything on Wiley Road coming up?
I need to check my schedule.
Yeah, I thought we
We
just,
just rejuvenated.
yeah, I thought we rejuvenated.
Not Wiley.
Where does it start down here?
What
The rejuvenation,
it started on Jove and Newton,
They won't do anything
all
for
of it.
5 years.
and they go east.
Yeah.
Go down.
I don't think Wiley Road is on the
No,
radar. I think it's on the
Yeah, no, that's what I said, it could be at least
I'd
5
have to look
years,
at that
because they're not on our
Yeah.
approved list. Okay, all right, so, Councilman Cray, would you have something you wanted to say?
Yeah, so what's wrong with the existing school speed limit sign with the two flashers on it?
The vehicular speed feedback sign is, it will display the speed limit or the speed that you're going as you're
Right.
approaching the sign. So
Right.
typically when people approach it and let's say they're going, let's say 40
It
and
lets
it's
them
20,
know how fast you're going.
yeah, people will typically slow down after
So-
seeing how far they've exceeded the speed limit.
The only reason I bring this up is it's a long, straight road, and I've had multiple people tell me there's people drag racing on this road.
100%.
And now you have a radar speed time
Yeah.
on a drag
Yeah.
strip.
They can go over 100.
Well, the thing about
The
I think it's fine the way it is. I don't think the value of having the speed readout
we do
is
the
worth
camera,
it.
the radar speed sign will be active only during the school zone hours. So like if it's people are racing at like midnight, it won't be on. That radar speed sign will only be on while the school zone flasher assembly is on. So like
Okay. I just don't think it's worth the money to upgrade to the radar readout. It serves the same purpose.
So the one that's there, what's the difference in okay, so we wanna remove the one that's there, and we wanna put in a new one, how much is this sign?
I'd have to check the.
Okay, so can we not put in the new sign at this point, keep the sign that we have? All right, for right now, we can look at putting in a new sign that shows how fast they're going at a later date. And keep the one that we have, just trying to save, some of our budget here. I think we're all in agreement to lower the speed limit to 30 miles per hour and replace the existing speed limit signs. We're gonna keep the beacon that's there, and then we'll, at a later date, we'll look at, changing it to a digital readout. And then, we need to do an update to the city code of ordinance for that one, Mike. And then add pavement markings along Wiley Road for southbound right turn lane onto Joe. I didn't hear anybody say anything about that. I don't know how urgent that actually is.
I don't believe that's absolutely vital.
Again, I think
So,
if
can
they're
we
gonna
hold-
bring back itemized listings too, we
Okay.
can.
It's just
Right now, let's hold off on the pavement markings right there until we figure out how that's gonna work. And then, you remove the outdated bike lane signage, that doesn't cost us anything. Okay, so that's where we are on that. That'll save a couple $1,000 there.
I think that was the last one, and
That's
Yeah.
yes.
I almost hate to do this. I need to go back to the stop sign on Burkeville Drive. I apologize.
Oh, here's the picture.
Here's what's stuck in, but wait, hang on just a second, Mayor.
That is the picture.
Okay, here's where I'm stuck, Aaron. Correct me if I'm wrong, I heard you say that you evaluated the grade on Casey Road in both directions. Hey, guys, hang on one second. Right, that you evaluated the grade on Casey Road in both directions, right, but not the grade on Barton Hill. Is that correct?
Sign, you need to roll a stop sign.
Hang on a second. So I think from the thing I'm wrestling with is, I'm wondering if that's a sufficient evaluation for us to make a determination, is what I'm getting at. How complicated would it be for you to go back and revisit that, taking into consideration the grade on Barton Hill?
Here it is, right on that. So
Yeah,
this is
it's
Barton
huge.
Hill,
That's not a good thing.
and that's what it is.
No, you're on TC Road.
Guys, I'm sorry, hang on just a second. I'm
Sorry.
asking a question of the engineer.
if we're looking at purely volumes, right? So we also completed warrants for both Minor Road, so upgrading to a stop sign, and all-way stop control, so stop control at all approaches to the intersection. This intersection has enough traffic volume on all approaches of the intersection to meet an all-way stop control. We didn't recommend it because of its proximity to 281, and it's outside of city limits, but there's enough traffic at that intersection for people. It technically meets the recommendation for stopping at all directions at this
So
intersection.
it would be a three-way stop.
I'm sorry, what I'm asking is, did that evaluation and recommendation take into consideration the grade on Barton Hill? I heard you say that it did not. I'm wondering how germane that is to the evaluation. Does it make sense? Do you understand, Aaron, what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Does it make sense to go back and incorporate that and see if that changes your recommendation at all? I feel like maybe it's a little incomplete is what I'm.
It's not shown in the figure, but we did observe, so we went out in the field, we did observe the intersection from all approaches of the intersection. The sight distance from Barton Hill Drive is pretty limited. So
It's extremely.
that's why we recommended that they stop, because like, if someone's coming over the hill and you're not stopping at that intersection, you know, like there's a lot of risk.
I don't mean to be difficult. I don't mean to
No,
be
you-
difficult. I am hearing objections here based on the grade of Barton Hill.
You can,
And I'm wondering if we just go and close that loop and see what that does to the calculation.
Yeah,
before
I
we
guess
make a
what,
final decision.
I guess what they're saying is that the site distance issue that Barton Hills has on Casey Road, whether it being steep or not steep, was very significant, that it just rose to the point that it requires. a stop
Regardless,
sign.
it requires a stop sign.
Regardless if it was flat, whether it was
Yeah,
tilted, it still requires that stop sign because of the site distance issue. That's the first one. Second one is just because of the hill. You're coming over a blind spot
Understood,
into a T intersection.
understood.
It's those two kind of warranted, like automatic.
Yeah,
Does
I'm
our,
saying
does
a stop
Wait, let him
sign, from an engineering standpoint, it needs a stop sign. I'm just saying from somebody that drives it multiple times a day.
I hear you. I'm asking a different question. I'm trying to get to whether or not. Does our contract, allow for them to go back and do some things for us? Is that gonna cost us additional money?
It would
What-
cost us additional money for them to go and do that.
You know,
I'm just concerned that the evaluation of this intersection may not have been, in other words, we decided it was so clear that it needed this, we left
Yeah.
out this piece of the equation. And I can't speak to whether that piece of the equation makes enough of a difference to make it worth it to go back. So I just wanted to get that on the, I just wanted to get it on
So
the
did you
record.
say there were 3 reasons it required a stop sign? And even if it wasn't great on the other, how much impact would that really have on freeway stop signs, right? Is that
Yeah,
what
it's
you
the
said?
site distance, the
Yeah.
hill.
I just wanted to get it on the record. I feel like we maybe don't have the whole picture.
Okay,
There is all I'm saying.
all right. So this is the last one, right?
I think we're,
yes.
Okay, so Mike, we've got a consensus of an idea of what we're doing here on 4B, correct? With the ordinances?
We do, we'll go back through the notes and we can come up with a list,
Okay, so
much
moving on.
like we did on the committee agendas.
Thank you very much, we appreciate you.
thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Okay, discussion on renewal of the City of Alberta Conference Center agreement on 4C.
So let me begin by saying that I have this purposely listed as a discussion item on. I do not have it on here for decision tonight. It was my intent to have the discussion this evening, generate some questions, generate some feedback, and we'll revisit this likely 1, 2, maybe 3 more times before we reach a general consensus on what we want to do. So with that, I'll go ahead and get going. So I want to talk about the timeline associated with our conference center lease, terms and conditions, the renewal option, and then just a very top level overview of the hotel occupancy tax basics. Okay, so the lease was signed June 24th, 2016. I remember that day well, it's a great check. Commencement date was October 1, 2017. So that's when our lease started. We actually signed documentation, both parties stating that's the commencement date. That's important because this is a 10-year lease. The lease expires September 30, 2027. So September 30 of next year. Written into the lease is a window, a lease renewal window, if you will, a 3-month period during which we need to make a decision whether we wish to renew or not. And that period is October 1 of 2026 through January 1 of 2027. Very quickly down the terms and conditions, there are 20+ pages of terms and conditions. I'm just going to hit the high points. The base rate is $200,000 per year, up to a $2 million max over the length of that 10-year contract. The city is to rebate 100% of our hotel occupancy tax for this location. It's not the total everywhere in the city, it's just specific to this location. City has to maintain insurance. City pays the electricity for the conference center. We get some parking spaces and we're entitled to some signage. The landlord provides a sales coordinator.
Mike, do we always pay the telephone in those offices downstairs?
I did not see
sorry.
telephone.
All right.
We may have one there, but we're paying for that separately. It's not a part of this contract. The landlord provides a sales coordinator whose primary job will be to generate leads and business for the conference center. Not exclusive, but primary job. Rental revenue from the meeting room comes to the city. 10% to the landlord if they generate the lead, if it's as a result of their work. And the landlord will repair, replace, and maintain the facility as needed. There is an option in here for a single, one-time, 3-year renewal for the lease. The renewal period, again, October 1, 26, January 1, 27. We've talked about that. If the city opts to renew, the landlord has 30 days to provide the proposed renewal rental rate. So they can propose to change the rate. They don't have to keep it where it's at. If there's no agreement on the renewal rate, there is a very well-defined process to follow that explains how we get to agreement. I've written some of the steps up there, but again, it's well documented in the contract documents.
Can I interject that page 2 of that appendix that outlines that was not in my packet? Can we
Yeah,
get
it was truncated. I think
Okay.
that's a flaw in the
I was trying to figure out what that math worked out to.
original agreement.
Okay.
I talk a little bit about hotel occupancy tax basics because if we decide we're not going to renew this, that $200,000 that we receive in hotel occupancy taxes will inure to the city. But there's some caveats here. It is a very, very restricted fund. So primarily there are 2 tests that must be met to make expenditures under the hotel occupancy tax. One, it has to put heads in beds. You hear that phraseology all the time.
Tourism.
So it has to lead to tourism and overnight stays.
Overnight.
Yes. As I said, the usage is very restricted. Cities, for that reason, cities that have hotel occupancy tax often accumulate very large fund balances in this particular fund because they can't spend the money. They can't find enough uses to spend it. So they sit idle, collect. The difficulty stems from what I'll just term as historical misuse by municipalities. Years ago, when all of this started, 30 years ago, 35 years ago, cities in particular, some of the cities in Northeast Texas, one in particular that advertises its roses. Cities in Northeast Texas use this particularly very loosely to supplement their general fund. So for example, they would say, look, we've got a conference center and all of the streets within 5 miles of that conference center, we're going to do road work on them and repave them. And then we're going to repave, again, streets outside of that lead to that, major thoroughfares throughout the city, because it's all related to tourism. And the state watched this happen and said, we're going to clamp down. And as is often the case, the state overreacted and came up with a set of very restrictive laws. It's not impossible. I'm not telling you it's impossible. It is possible. It's just very, very difficult to spend these dollars. What you often see, and you're seeing it now with Project Marble, is that the larger cities have the ability to come in and drive the legislation. And that's, if you look through the state law on this, a lot of it is geared towards Arlington, Dallas, Austin, South Padre Island. They will drive the legislation to narrowly focus in on their particular municipality with regard to law changes. So that's where you see the exceptions. They can spend their money because they've managed to change the laws to their unique set of circumstances that enables them to spend the monies. We don't have that here. So again, difficult to spend. I mention this just because it is something to consider as we go through. I've said this before, heads and beds, and then the 9-part test. I included in your package those 9 categories. And again, you're going to be tempted to look at those 9 categories and say, boy, I could come up with all sorts of projects. And the attorney will say no. Matt, I don't know what your experience with hotel occupancy tax is. I've had 4 of the 6 cities I've managed that have hotel occupancy tax. And we would typically go 10 or 15 ideas before we came up one that registered true with the attorney. And the laws haven't changed.
Do you have 2 examples of that, by chance?
Of expenditures for hotel occupancy tax? Sure. In Jersey Village, we paid the Chamber of Commerce to advertise for the hotels that are in town. So the Chamber had a website and Facebook, and we would pay them a stipend every year for several $1,000s for them to advertise for our hotels within Jersey Village. That was one expenditure that we did have. In Longview, we had a conference center. And we used our hotel occupancy to pay the operating costs of the conference center.
It offsets the operating costs at that point.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Again, operation of the conference center for common usage. We've talked about the large cities and how the laws that are adopted are unique to those top 10, top tier cities in Texas. And reporting is very, very important when you have usage of hotel occupancy tax, when you have multiple categories that you are trying to facilitate. The reporting just starts to become exponentially more difficult. You have to be able to justify the heads and beds. And if you're going to put signage up, how does that tie into heads and beds? How can you justify that expenditure? So there's a lot of legwork that has to be done ahead of time. Some cities have different opinions about this, and again, I would defer to our legal team to tell us what they feel is appropriate expenditures, but it is difficult to spend these dollars. So that's all I wanted to do tonight. Get this on the table, start you all thinking about it, throw my caveat out there in terms of those hotel tax dollars don't spend as easily as you might be led to believe. And then go in and say, I've had a few conversations with the landlord, with Charles Letty, and the nature of it, he said he would be inclined to want to renew and would be open to the renewal. And beyond that, I really don't have a sense as to whether or not they want to increase the rate, leave the rate where it's at, but he would be open to that. And the other aspect of that I would add, if for some reason the city were to say, no, we want to keep those dollars to ourselves, so we're going to let the contract expire, they would simply just turn that into additional rooms at the hotel. They're prepared to do that. They thought that might happen, so it is structured and actually constructed in a way that turnaround would happen fairly quickly. They wouldn't have to do a whole lot of construction work to facilitate that. It was pre-built, if you will, into the structure years ago. So that's it by way of introduction. My intent is, again, to let you guys think about this and we come back perhaps with the September meeting, and then let's start getting into our thoughts and feelings and discussions about this. I'll take the questions tonight. I don't know that I have answers tonight, but I'm certainly happy to take the questions that you may or may not have.
Wait. Okay, we're gonna start down here.
Before council signs whether to renew, do you think that staff could provide us with complete 10-year cost benefits analysis showing every dollar the city has contributed, rent, hotel occupancy tax rebates, electricity, insurance, and other costs against the conference center revenue, the utilization, events held, room nights.
No. Not with the paperwork that exists in this city. We can do it for the last couple of years. We can't do it going back that far. I'm giving you all an honest answer.
Appreciate it. Can you give us what you have?
We can.
Okay. Just, I'm sorry, may I piggyback off of that?
Wait, let me go back here just a second and I'll let you go. Okay, Councilman Wellington.
So, if I'm understanding, budget, that's a lot more on budget, but how much are we paying out again on this from the budget?
200,000, well,
Is it,
again, it's a rebate.
right,
So
that's what
all
I'm
the
trying to,
hotel occupancy tax that comes to us,
offsets it, right?
it's a 1-for-1 and it goes right back out to them.
So that's what I'm saying,
200,000
so we're not losing money, but we're not making money, right? At this
We
point.
make a small bit on the meeting room. If someone comes in and actually has a conference there, then the conference fees we get.
Right.
We have a conference.
Minus,
we're not-
minus the 10% for their.
But we're not,
If they generate it, yes, minus the 10%.
right, but we're not seeing that, so I don't.
Yeah,
it's
we're not getting rich off of it.
Right, this is not to me, this is not a good deal for us right now at this point. It's not a good deal. Could potentially cost us money, right? Like decent money, but I don't think it's doing what it was gonna do, or what the effort was.
Councilman Gold?
I think that it's a good idea to maintain a resource that isn't costing us money, that's actually in fact bringing in some small, I'm trying to wrap my head around the legality of this hot tax. It comes from here to there and it goes back to there to upset. Evidently it's all legal. But I think it's good to maintain the space in the event that we need it. If we find it needs to routinely use it.
We do use it.
We use it a lot.
We do. We do, and there's some value to having, again, a conference center within our city. It's
Well, just
maybe
think,
seldom used, but there is some benefit to that.
and you're working on an emergency response plan, right? That's one of your items.
Well, we're working emergency management overall. yes.
Overall, right? And is that listed as maybe a triage or like some type of part of your response plan?
It is not. We would be better served, at least in that regard, probably utilizing school district facilities or possibly just using this room here.
Okay, but the point I'm trying to make is that we have a resource that's not costly. It's actually bringing in money. It's a nice amenity for this community. I think that is something that warrants
I agree.
that's my opinion.
All right, I'm just gonna say, do y'all really understand the hot tax? So unless if we were to get rid of the hotel, right, of what we have there, now we have hot tax money. And the part about heads in the beds is we actually don't have anything in our city that's
Yeah,
gonna
no.
get heads in the beds, right?
We understand.
So just want to make sure that, everybody who's listening to this meeting tonight understands that that's what we're looking at. So we would be in a problem, we wouldn't be able to spend that money at all, right? And so it kind of behooves us to keep it, to use it for the reasons that y'all have all stated, council has stated tonight, right? As a backup for what we have. So, I just wanted to share that so we all knew it and it's documented so that the people listening understand that also. Okay, all right? So, Councilman Watson, did you have something to say?
I did. There's a $2 million cap over the 10 years of the lease. What I'm hearing you say is that we can't.
We are far from that.
Yep, we are far from that.
Very far.
Okay, so the hot tax has not met 200,000 a year.
Well, we had a pandemic. So.
I'm not arguing. I just.
Yeah, I'm just saying that, yeah.
Sure.
With the pandemic, my gosh, we were doing 200,000 a year, I think, in 2021, we were around 70,000.
Okay, so we don't know, right now, the way the lease is written, the difference is written off, we're not obligated to make up that difference. Is it your sense that there would be a significant increase?
No,
So,
no, I have no sense that there would be a significant increase to the revenue from the occupancy tax.
would there be a significant increase to the cost? In other words, the rebate, the 2 million structure?
I don't sense that right now, but that's subject to
Sure.
the other partner in the
Sure.
agreement.
Okay.
Councilman Cruz.
You know, I've not, I'll put it this way, in my discussions with the landlord, that was not brought up as an issue, and if they were certainly looking to increase that, in our 3 or 4 conversations that we've had up to this point, I believe it would have been raised as an issue.
So as I understand it, then the process would be that we make a decision about renewal and the landlord has 30 days to come back to us with a rate. Is that how
Yes,
it works?
that is correct.
And then we have another conversation
Whether we agree.
of where we either agree or we do an appraisal of some kind.
Yes, if we disagree, then the process is set out by which we do an appraisal. We agree to a third-party appraiser who then comes in, conducts their appraisal,
And we split the cost with them.
and we do.
Yeah.
Correct, and then also there's even beyond that, if we disagree with that appraisal, there's a process for us to go through and express that.
Okay, and does all of that have to happen before January 1st, or if we've initiated the process before then, are we good?
I did not read that all of that has to happen. I'll go back and read it again, but I did not read that all of that had to happen before January 1st.
We just have to make some decision and initiate the process.
Correct.
Okay. Those were my questions. Thank you.
Councilman Cruz.
So Mike, is it correct that the city of already owns all the chairs and all the tables, all the furniture in the conference center?
We have a list right now,
It's a lot of furniture.
insurance office, of what we own. It's still there right now.
Yeah.
It is there, but we have a good list of that, and that is the city's, yes.
But if we got rid of the conference center, we would have to either throw it away or sell it.
We would auction it.
Yeah.
Some of it, we might be able to use here at City Hall, and we might be able to repurpose. But there's a fair percentage of it that we would not be able to, and we would look to auction that off and get some kind of a
Right.
resale value.
No, I mean, a partnership having the city, space for the city is a great resource to have. I mean, we use it for National Night Out. We use it for the city Christmas party.
Yeah.
We use it all sorts of things, and I don't see no reason that the town halls can't be there either. I mean,
They have it.
I mean,
Okay.
yeah.
We're blessed to have some
You know,
good facilities.
the hotel isn't as busy as they thought it would be, and they like getting the money back. I think it's all around win-win. I mean, we don't have anything in the city that we could use contacts on. I mean, nothing. So,
I think it makes sense to move forward with it, but.
Okay, so we put it on the agenda for
September 8th.
for action September 8th. For an action. Actually, yeah, that would work.
And,
All right,
Councilman Brown, I'm going back to your request earlier, again, the mayor and Councilmember Watson, we'll go back and look at the data that we do have in terms of revenues, how much we pay on electricity, et cetera, et cetera. We'll have that information for September 8th.
Yeah, because I'd like a reason to keep, that's,
Yeah, but the level of analysis that you're looking for just isn't there. The raw data is not there, and I can't commit to finding that raw data and putting forward that kind of a staff effort to dig through the catacombs.
Understood.
okay. All right, so on the agenda for next, thank you, Mike.
Thank you all.
40, discuss and consider approval of a resolution creating city council committees and guidelines for the operation of the committees.
I have this, but I just got a few introductory comments because we're 95%, 90% of the way there. So I know we still have some unfinished business, and I'll address that also. So this is a follow-up to the July 28th agenda item on the same matter. The packet material reflects the changes that have been agreed upon by council at that July 28th meeting. You have both the revised resolution and the revised guidelines. Proposed item 13 was left open for discussion. And again, we have that listed, Mayor, as an executive session item, if you care to go into executive session to discuss that.
We can do that in executive session
So
when we get there on the 13th for 7D and 7E, yes.
Yeah, the city attorney and I had a discussion on the item, and I tried to brief it as best I could. And again, it's listed for executive session. I don't have anything further to add at this time. I think Sandra has done a really good job, and again, we went through a couple of times and listened, and we were very specific about what we had, and making sure that we captured everybody's verbiage, so that if it doesn't quite sound right, that's because that's what you said.
And I do want to note that Councilmember Watson did find one additional item that's why you have a loose leaf.
Oh, this one, yeah.
And it was just the caption of the resolution. I included still the remaining term limits clause is still listed in the caption. And that now it has been.
Mayor, that concludes my comments.
Thank you. So y'all start down here with Councilman Brown.
I'm actually very pleased with what we managed to hammer out. So no further commentary.
Councilman Alexander.
Yeah, I don't have any kind of comments right now.
Councilman Goff.
Done talking about.
Councilman Watts.
I agree with Councilmember Brown. I think this was a slog, but we've hammered out a good compromise document, I think.
Councilman Hurwitz.
Go.
Huh?
Go.
Go. So, I have one question regarding all of this. So when we put this in here that I'm not seeing it, this is the resolution to this. Did we actually put in here when this 30 days were up, or are we gonna count those from today? Or is it the next council meeting?
What 30 days?
So what we're gonna say about how this is gonna work, about coming back with what each council's gonna do, what each committee's gonna do, right? Just wanna make sure, so that we're all, you remember we talked about 30 days?
I think we didn't put a timeline on it. We said at the first meeting of the committee, we'll draft a proposed scope and mission.
That's right, you're right, that's what I meant to make sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm good with that. If everybody else is, we can make a motion to adopt this resolution tonight as is, if nobody else has any other questions, concerns. And I'll put that out for discussion right now. I guess none of y'all want to say, Councilman Golf is good, you were good.
That's right, this candle.
You were good, you were good, you're good. Yeah, okay. So let's just make a motion to approve or to create a resolution of the City Council of the City of Rio Verde, Texas, creating city council committees, appointing members to said committees, providing a term for committee appointments, and providing an effective date. Wait, just make sure. Because in this resolution, it actually doesn't provide a term for the committee appointments.
It doesn't. We took that out.
So we need to take it out of the top of the resolution.
That's what I did. That was
Oh,
my.
yeah, you're right. I'm sorry. I'm reading the wrong page. I just want to repeat it. Okay, so now I'll make a motion to create the resolution of the City Council of the City of Rio Verde, Texas, creating city council committees, appointing members to said committees, and providing an effective date.
I'll second.
Okay, and then all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
One abstain.
And Councilman Goff abstains. So 5 and 1. Okay, Public comments, I don't have any from anybody. Okay, so I'll open it and I'll close it right away. I'll open it and close it at 9:20. Okay, any reports? If not, we'll go to executive session. Reports? Okay, then, we'll, call this meeting into executive session at 9:20 PM to discuss items, 7D and 7E.
And you already got it.
Hurry up.
All right, we'll pause meeting at 9:49 p.m. And we have 12 more items on the agenda.
As long as they don't involve stop signs, I think we're good.
Gotta be a 12-pack in the
I'd
fridge.
like to bring that back up.
So action items after executive session. Items 8A, 8B, and 8C were taken care of earlier, leaving 8D and 8E, and there is no action on either of these items. So nothing else to add. We're going to adjourn this meeting at 9:49 p.m.
Wait.
Good night, Chris.